What's up, guys? Welcome to True Lies and Scandals. You already know why I'm here to talk about the trending Harry and Meghan Netflix docu-series, or what millions aptly describe as a boring whinge fest. I watched the first 3 episodes the morning it dropped. I struggled to watch the entire thing, but I had to, otherwise, this whole video would be based on what the media thinks. So, I grabbed my cup of coffee and started watching around 8:30 a.m. Guys, I binged watch. Not because I love this couple, but because I wanted to see if they had anything new to say besides what they said on the Oprah Winfrey show in 2021. I wanted to be the first one, or one of the first, to discover what other lies or untruths or half-truths or scandals were going to come out. What other lies they had to connect to tarnish the reputation of the monarch and the British public as a whole. Guys, I confess I had a tough time getting through the entire 3 episodes. Anyway, my thoughts. Let's get down to two of the important takeaways. Number one, the docuseries so far is a giant smear campaign against the monarchy, especially Queen Elizabeth and Kate, Princess of Wales. I will explain how. Number two, Meghan Markle has a deep-seated problem with being black. She's only admitting to being black now to use the race card to smear the royal family. I'll tell you why in a few. I need a whole show to point out claims by Harry and Meghan that simply do not add up. In other words, the lies. The couple keeps changing their how we met story. They apparently lied about not knowing who Harry was. She apparently lied about not knowing who Harry was before meeting him. She apparently lied saying she broke up with her ex before she started dating Harry. She allegedly lied about her mother being the one who raised her. She apparently lied about her father not coming to her wedding, when in fact, she either didn't invite him in the first place or uninvited him, as she uninvited her niece as well, the daughter of her half-sister Samantha Markle, who, by the way, is actually suing her in court right now for defamation and I think libel. And let's not forget the biggest lie, that she was treated poorly in the UK because she was a black woman, to use her terms, to use her exact words. The front pages of many publications tell a different story when Meghan Markle and Prince Harry were dating and when they got married, and how many people, millions and millions of people that were in support of their union. Back to the documentary. The first thing I observed and want to say to you about the show that you may already recognize is that it's essentially, so far, a smear campaign, a giant smear campaign, recorded and aired to the world to attempt to smear and destroy the royal family, sway public's opinion about the royal family as far as race is concerned. I can't say that I'm surprised that this is what Meghan has manipulated Prince Harry into doing, because for those of you who are aware of narcissism and people with narcissistic personality disorder, smearing others is how narcissists get back at people who caused them a narcissistic injury. And that narcissistic injury obviously is perceived. It's how they perceive, how they feel because of what you did or said. So this perceived injury, they're vindictive and calculating, and they have to get back at you. So I believe that this smear campaign, especially as far as it's coming from Meghan Markle, is to get back at the royal family for God knows whatever hurts that they may have caused, perceived hurts, perceived pain that they have caused her. And from the looks of it, Meghan is a grandiose narcissist who is not only delusional, but a pathological lying narcissist. Paranoia, delusion, and pathological lying are narcissistic traits. Check it out if you get some time, you can check the DSM, the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Health Disorders, DSM-5, by the American Psychological Association. It details all of the different traits seen in people with narcissistic personality disorder, and there's a lot of traits that I see. Looking at her, assessing her from her, her podcast and everything else that she says and does. I do not dislike Meghan. Let's be clear. She's a woman. I'm a woman. I am supportive of women, but I'm not supportive of gaslighting, manipulation, dishonesty, grandiosity, putting yourself up there, acting superior over others, because no one is better than any other person. We're all the same, black or white. And I don't see color, by the way. All right? I see people, humans. So I do not dislike Meghan. I think she's beautiful on the outside, but I recognize she demonstrates a lot of traits associated with narcissism. Now, whether she has a narcissistic personality disorder or not, it's not for me to say. I'm neither a psychologist or a psychiatrist, but I do study narcissism. I am a medical researcher and writer. I study narcissism. I write on narcissism every week, and I do see her exhibiting the traits like grandiosity, superiority, and a sense of entitlement. She's been called all types of names, Mimi, Meghan, because all she talks about is herself and how she was victimized by the royal family and everyone else in her life, including her own father, whom she allegedly did not invite to her wedding. Guys, who does that? How could you have a whole wedding and not invite your mother? Well, her mother was there. I'm sorry. Her mother gave her away. Her father was not there. Who does that? After he raised her, based on claims by, well, actually, I'm going to go by what this renowned British author, Tom Bower, said in his book. He spoke with Meghan Markle's father, Thomas Markle, I believe is his name, and verified, so he has the receipts, that this man raised this girl, and she completely ghosted him and basically is denying that he does even exist. And that's what narcissists do. Once they're done with you, they'll use you. And when they're done with you and you're no longer any interest to them, they're going to abandon you. They're going to what is called the narcissist discard. They will discard you like you were nothing. And after he raised her for so many years, when her mother was allegedly off doing heaven knows what, she disowns him. Meghan also shows a great lack of empathy, which I can identify in different situations. Obviously, this entire Netflix show is a demonstration of a lack of empathy, because when we truly care for and love others, especially our family and our relatives and our friends, we will think 1,000 times to publicly smear them. We might talk about them in private, but to get out there and announce to the world and throw our family under the bus, it takes a narcissist to do that. They are uncaring, unfeeling, lack empathy, cannot emotionally connect with the emotions of others. They cannot understand how others feel, so they can do those things and sleep good at nights. It's like not having a conscience because they're disconnected emotionally, right? We don't throw them under the bus, our families. We do not put their privacy out there. We don't hang them out to dry and say all manner of ill things about them to basically get other people to feel sorry for us. That's playing the victim in order to get empathy from the public. And any person who is kind, caring, and empathetic would not do such a ghastly thing. It was laughable hearing Prince Harry likened his wife, Meghan, to his mom, Princess Diana. He said Meghan is caring and kind. That's in the docuseries. She's caring and she's kind and she's generous and she has a lot of empathy, like his mother. I mean, that's an insult to his mother, Princess Diana, to say the very least. To even compare Meghan Markle with his mother, who was not a perfect woman, but a beautiful soul. Though I never met Diana, I don't see any similarities between her and Meghan Markle, especially them talking about how Meghan Markle was hounded by the press like his mother was. Are you kidding me? And they don't have the receipts. They don't have one piece of evidence, video evidence, photo evidence showing that she was hounded by the press, except for one made up act, a part where they acted like they were being followed by one paparazzi on a motorcycle, and it was in New York. That's made up. And the acting was terrible, by the way. If you want to see it, you gotta watch the series, but I'm telling you, I'm warning you, I'm cautioning you, you're gonna be bored. All right, these two haven't said anything new since what they've said on the Oprah Winfrey Show in 2021. But Meghan Markle and Princess Diana are cut from two different cloths. They have totally two different personalities. You look at Princess Diana and you feel her kindness and authenticity through the TV screen. She glowed with sincerity and authenticity. Meghan Markle drips with fakeness. And again, don't dislike this woman. I just don't like the things she does and how she is using, like a narcissist, using the royal family for her personal benefits. Actually not using, exploiting. Along with Prince Harry, who is her enabler, he's enabling this situation. And we're going to talk about that on another day, about their, what I believe, codependent relationship. And obviously there's a person who's the taker and a person who's the giver. And I strongly believe that Prince Harry is playing the enabling role. And she's the controlling one, and she's controlling everything that he does. And he has to provide those things for her. I've never felt that genuineness coming from Meghan. She's pompous, she's a narcissist, she gives off a different vibe, and it's an ugly vibe. She has demonstrated that vibe in so many ways on her podcast and through this Netflix docu-series. And let's not talk about the part where she mocked the late Queen Elizabeth. When she showed the world how she curtsied to the Queen, mocking the Queen, mocking the whole institution basically and their traditions. She insulted the monarchy by basically saying their traditions and culture are archaic and outdated. This D-list unknown actress married into the family. She chose that. She now sits in Montecito at her home and complains and whines and criticizes the very family that took her from off the streets of Skid Row. Not the Comptons, by the way. Her mocking the first meeting. Yes, her mom had to, clear that out on these docuseries. Her first meeting with the Queen isn't distasteful. It's distasteful, and disgusting. And it's not sitting well with a lot of people. Definitely not with the British people who looked up to the monarchy, and embrace their culture. They love who they are. That's their culture. British people are known for being proper and stiff, of course. And I think that's one of the things I like about the British people, that they're proper. They have manners. But Princess Pinocchio could not appreciate or understand or even try to support the traditions and culture of her family, the one she married into. She didn't want to work. She wanted to just lay around on her lazy behind and get paid for doing nothing. She wanted to get paid for showing up. Like, hey, this is me. Look at me. Pay me. I'm here. When you marry somebody, if you truly care for them, you'll do your best to get along with their family and relatives, even if their culture is different from yours. But no, Meghan had one mission in mind, which was to find all the flaws about her in-laws, mix it back to the United States, and basically trash the royal family from the USA every chance she gets. Some people are saying she's trying to bring down the monarchy. Bring down what? Hell no. No, Meghan Markle can do that. She does not have what it takes to even cause a tiny tear in the fabric of the monarchy. It's that strong and robust, and it's been around before she was born, and she will die and leave it there. Many have tried and failed, and she's not anybody special. She's no different than me or you in that way, but we are special, of course. There she was talking about how she did not get the security protection. We're talking about the race now, that she deserved because she was the Duchess of Sussex, and special treatment was supposed to be meted out to her. That's the narcissism talking, guys. Narcissists have a sense of entitlement. They believe they're superior and have to get the best. Meghan, please, you're just another woman who just so happened to lie and manipulate your way into Princess Harry's life. Any woman could get Harry. Just saying. Now to the issue of race. Yeah, any woman, even a bimbo on Deal or No Deal, who was basically opening and closing suitcases and whatever else. Now to the issue of race. She's claiming she didn't get special treatment from the royal family because she is a quote-unquote black woman. How dreaded. She claimed no one treated her like a black woman until she went to England, until she said she lived with the royal family, until she was exposed to British society. Oh my gosh. Wow. Nobody's feeling sorry. I'm not. Why should we? You chose your path. You chose to go to a white country, a British country. There is black people there. There are black people there. But you know what you were getting into, so stop whining. They need to stop whining. So there she is sitting there feeling that because she's black, she didn't get the protection that she thinks she deserved. Whatever, girl. You got all this money. You were living in a castle, Frogmore Cottage. You had everything made for you. You had servants. You had access to jewelry worth millions of dollars. You were rubbing shoulders with the monarchy. Oh, come on. Expensive clothing? Whatever. You name it. You had it. And all you can do, instead of being grateful, showing gratitude for your position, for being there, for being accepted, for being allowed to marry Prince Harry in the first place. If they did not like black people or didn't like you, they could have pushed back on the marriage and not let it happen. I don't know how this works, but I'm sure they could have influenced it in some ways. But they accepted you. They received you. The British public tax money paid for that wedding, I think almost £40 million. And there she is sitting complaining about whatever. But what you chose to do, like I said, you chose to be an ingrate. You prefer to sit and complain that you were not treated well, that you were treated like a black woman, that you were not treated like a black woman. This is what she said in the Netflix docu-series. She was not treated like a black woman up until she went to live in the UK. Girls, sit down. Guys, you know what? It was her and Harry who made it about race. Let's talk about race. Let's talk about who's racist here. To me, the person who highlights, who brings up, who broaches the issue of race might be the real racist. All they're doing is projecting their deep-seated racism onto whoever they want to make feel like they're being racist, the other person. So they brought it up. In the documentary, Prince Harry said, when he approached them, supposedly his family, because they're not naming the people who they're talking about. It's only them and they, and yes, they're not naming names, obviously. They don't want to get sued, but hey, we're not stupid. They're gaslighting us. They're just saying they and them, so we don't know specifically who Harry and Meghan are referring to. But Harry said that when he approached them for protection for his wife, they told him that that everything will be fine, and that it was no different for the other women that married into the royal family, as far as maybe he wanted greater or heavier protection for his wife, because she thinks she's entitled to it. She thinks she's God's gift to the world, so she's got to get everything more than every other woman. She has to have the best security and the best wedding and the best dress and the best tiara and the best everything, because that she's a narcissist and she is entitled. He told them, whoever them is, that what's different after they said, okay, she'll be fine, don't worry about it. He told them that what's different with Meghan was the race element. Speaking about Meghan's race, her biracial background, and her being black and white. What race element, Prince Harry? The white part or the black part? I mean, they made it about race. And that's why they're here having this conversation. All right? She cannot change who she is. Meghan suddenly had an epiphany and discovered she wasn't the white woman she had been claiming to be all her life, that she felt she was all her life. Perception is an interesting thing, or at least acting the part. She suddenly had come face to face with the harsh reality for her that she was a black woman. Excuse me, poor Meghan. Girl, be black and proud. So, they exited with malice and vengeance and came back here to the USA to use the race card as ammunition to try and smear the royal family and the British people. Nobody with an iota of sense is listening to her or believing that nonsense. She's actually making herself a laughing stock and alienating fans, especially with the way she mocked Queen Elizabeth. And to think they were conspiring and making this docuseries while the Queen was alive. And that opinion of mine is based on the disclaimer on the first episode, at the beginning of the first episode, that said that all of the interviews were completed by August of 2022, which is a month before the Queen died. There was also a disclaimer that said the royal family was contacted for a comment, but they did not respond, I think. Now that's another issue as to whether they actually did contact the royal family or contacted them properly in order to get their commentary, their reply or response or comment on this docuseries. All right. So while his grandmother was sick and dying, he was sitting there with his bimbo Deal or No Deal 2 or 3 times divorcee D-list actress, plotting to destroy his family, tarnish their names, smear them. I cannot reconcile that. So there she was, Meghan, talking about not knowing how to curtsy and not knowing what a walkabout is. She said she didn't know how to curtsy to the Queen, and she gave this mocking display, right? Rerun of what she did when she first met the Queen. You have to see it. It's distasteful, and I think she lost a lot of fans for that. There she was talking about not knowing how to curtsy and not knowing what a walkabout is. She was like, oh, a walkabout? What's a walkabout? Meghan claims to be the smart one, but not the pretty one. She supposedly has a degree in international relations. But she's going to a foreign country, to the UK, to England, to live, and doesn't have a basic understanding of the traditions and culture. Who is she trying to fool? When there is evidence from friends, claims from childhood friends and people who were close to her, that she was obsessed with Princess Diana. She was obsessed with marrying a prince ever since she was a little girl. She had this planned all along. All right? And she was not in it for love. She is in on it for money. It's not for love. All right? If you look at the couple when you watch the TV series, they're not in love. They're trying to make us think they're in love. But we know different. I've been in love before. I know when two people are in love. They're not in love. And that's the story they want to sell. Gaslighting us again like we don't know anything about love. Are you kidding me? A walkabout is a walkabout. You simply walk about. You walk around. She pretends to be naive and ignorant when it suits her. And when she comes out and pretends to be this intelligent woman when it suits her. She's fake as fake can be, faker than a fake dollar bill. I don't listen to Megzy because she doesn't make sense. She's not rational. I didn't know anything about Meghan or paid attention to her until I started studying narcissism in females, right? Because there's this whole misunderstanding that when you say someone is a narcissist, you instantaneously think of a man. Men have been painted as the ones who are narcissists, and they forget that women are narcissists too. And by the way, I recently did an article on female narcissists, and studies show that female narcissists' behaviors can be more intense, can be worse than male narcissists, okay? That's a conversation for another day. However, didn't know anything about her until I started studying female narcissism, and I came across several videos of her on YouTube where the host was talking about her being a narcissist. And obviously, I agree. She holds herself out to be Caucasian, not Black or African American. When she's applying for gigs, allegedly, she needs to admit she's not white. She needs to get with the program and recognize, admit, and embrace and appreciate the fact that she's Black, because she's making it really bad for a lot of Black people, Black women, including myself, when she denies who she is. What kind of person would deny their own ancestry? Well, actually, in her Spotify Archetypes podcast a few weeks ago, she dropped a bombshell, said that she checked her ancestry and she discovered that she is 43%, I believe I have the figure right, 43% Nigerian. Right, exactly. Girl, if you're biracial, you're biracial. Embrace both. But it's that sense of superiority that makes her align herself with Caucasians. She can't stand to be Black. Girl, you're not white. Until she accepts herself for who she is, she cannot lecture me and all the people about anything in the Archetypes or Stereotype podcast thingy she has on Spotify about racism. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry are nothing more than two racist grifters who made it all about racism. They raised the race issue when they couldn't get what they wanted, titles and money and whatever else they demanded, all while refusing to do real work, charity work for the monarchy and the British people. They need to simply go away and live their lives and stop gaslighting us with lies, half-truths, and scandals. I'm going to have to sit through another 3 episodes on Thursday next to give, that's December 15 in case you want to watch it, to give my final overall analysis of the Harry and Meghan show now streaming on Netflix. So guys, decide for yourselves. Are these claims true lies or scandals? See you next time.